Welcome back. The NIL, name, image, and likeness, is a big deal. And a lot of college kids have been very disappointed at the lack of money that they've made. Some have been happy with what they have been making. And Myron Metcalf, who's a guy that when you disagree with him, he runs to HR, had an article out about, in the last 20 years, who would be the guys that you think would make the most NIL money. And he had some interesting things, Tim Tebow, that kind of thing, and that's great. But I started thinking about other things. I started thinking about, well, who historically would make the most NIL money? I think I said HIL. Sometimes my brain doesn't work, and I hope you all understand that. But NIL money, historically, I'm going to tell you, and I'm going to go from top to bottom. The number one guy would be Rex Chapman. Now, everybody knows Rex Chapman as the crazy liberal. Everything is bad that he doesn't like and all that stuff. Great on Twitter, really making a comeback in life with Twitter and block charge and all that stuff. And that's great. I like Rex Chapman a lot. But Rex Chapman was the boy king. And you got to understand something. Historically, nobody, and I mean nobody, paid like Kentucky fans. There was a story I was told, and I'm not going to say the guy that told it to me, but he was a player at Kentucky on a national championship team. He went over a booster's house. They had these Sunday dinners. He locked his car door. He came out, and there was an envelope on the front seat of his car with a bunch of cash in it. The booster had to break into the car to give him money. That's how crazy Kentucky people are about it. The boy king would have been numero uno. I mean number one, period. Everybody else I'm going to mention is number two. They ain't going to be number one because the boy king would have made more money off every single industry in Kentucky. Tobacco, the boy king would have represented it. Car dealerships, the boy king. Whiskey, the boy king. General sitting around whittling and chewing tobacco, the boy king would have made money on that, Rex Chapman. I'm telling you right now, and everybody that is my age knows, over the course of history, Rex Chapman would have been the number one guy. Period. Michael Jordan, we'll call him Mike. Mike Jordan came out of Wilmington, Laney High School, and everybody bitches, whines, and moans that Michael Jordan got cut from his high school team. No, he didn't. He got cut from his high school team. He played JV as a sophomore, which is what a lot of us did. So he comes out of Laney High School, hits the game-winning jump shot for North Carolina to win the national championship his freshman year. Now, he didn't immediately jump to the NBA. It's not what you did. So Mike Jordan would have been an incredible star, charismatic, good-looking, hit the game-winning jump shot. Anybody that knows anything about Mike Jordan in college knows he rode a bike around. He went to parties, hung at fraternities. He was a social guy. Mike Jordan, and you got to understand about North Carolina, Dean Smith had deals left and right. When you graduated from North Carolina, you got, if you golfed, you got a brand new set of golf clubs and $15K according to one player. Michael Jordan would have made so much damn money that he would have started Jumpman a year earlier. In fact, Michael Jordan probably would have signed with Nike after his freshman year. He would have been not close, though. Not even close to Rex Chapman. I mean, not close. Are you kidding me? Not close. Third on my list, Herschel Walker. Now, you got to understand something. Georgia hasn't won a national championship since Herschel Walker ran the football at the University of Georgia in 1980. Herschel Walker, great-looking dude, really smart dude. I'll never forget this. He says, I don't believe him, but I never lifted a weight. Did you ever see Herschel Walker? All he did was push-ups. So as, high school kids, all we did was push-ups. It literally did not help me do anything other than be sore. That's it. I'd get 10 push-ups and okay, this crap stinks. But anyway, Herschel Walker in the South, winning a national championship at Georgia, winning the Heisman Trophy, being an absolute movie star looking dude, would have made a boatload of money. I mean an S-ton, shit-ton, of money. I'm telling you, nobody, other than the two that I had above you, would have made more than the great Herschel Walker. In fact, vote for Herschel Walker now. Great dude. Next, you probably don't even know this name. The name is Damon Bailey. Damon Bailey was a high school legend. In 8th grade, Bob Knight and a bunch of us went to go see Damon Bailey play. Knight came back and decreed that Damon Bailey would start for the Indiana team in 8th grade. Now, the Indiana team had Steve Alford, and it got Keith Smart, and it win the national championship. We all laughed. What'd Damon Bailey do? Well, Season on the Brink, a book, came out. It's the most popular selling book in the history of sports books. In it, it chronicles the trip of the Indiana University men's basketball staff to tiny Heltonville, Indiana, home of the great Damon Bailey. So what does Damon do? With all the pressure on Damon Bailey goes to Bedford North Lawrence High School. Damon Bailey becomes the all-time scoring leader in the history of Indiana high school basketball. Damon Bailey's high school games in the state of Indiana, you got to understand, 9 of the top 10 biggest gyms in the country reside in the state of Indiana. Biggest is 10,000 at Newcastle. Damon Bailey's games have to be moved to the biggest gyms. I watched him play in Market Square Arena against Bloomington North to a packed house, 18,000, regular season game. Damon Bailey's games got on TV. Damon Bailey was good old country, good looking. All right? There are so many kids right now that are now adults named Damon, you can't even believe it in the state of Indiana. True story. So Damon goes to, as I said, high school. He wins the state championship his senior year. It's his second, I think, state championship, maybe his first, I don't know. But the game is played in the Hoosier Dome. 43, 45, 50,000 people go to the game. Now think about that for a high school game. Because of one guy, Damon freaking Bailey. So Damon Bailey goes to Indiana, scores 1,500 points, plays in the Final Four a couple times, wins a Big Ten title 3 or 4 times. Doesn't really have a pro career, but I'm telling you, when Damon Bailey was at Indiana, like Rex Chapman at Kentucky, Damon Bailey would have pulled in more money than anybody in the country during his particular time. Now, difference between Kentucky and Indiana, Kentucky people didn't care about the rules. Indiana people were scared that Bob Knight was going to come to your place and beat you up if you gave a player $1, which he did to an old man at Bruce's Cafe. I'll get into that story another day. But Damon Bailey, a name you really don't know, would have made so much money. In fact, Damon called me one time. He goes, "Coach, what the hell?" I go, "What?" He goes, "I got people following me to class." I go, "What do you mean?" He goes, "Hey, meet me at the business building and watch what happens as I walk to Woodland Hall, which is in the middle of campus." There's like packs of people just following him. Did you ever see when, what's that guy's name? Tom Hanks played him? Run, Forrest, Run. Did you ever see when Forrest Gump is running down the street in the middle of the desert and all those people are behind him? That was Damon Bailey, just going to English class in Woodburn Hall. Damnedest thing I've ever seen. The prettiest male athlete ever from college basketball was a man named Christian Laettner. Pretty. I mean pretty. He was 6'10", movie star looks, played for Duke, the most clutch player in the history of college basketball. I'm just telling you, Christian Laettner across the country had everybody in the palm of his hand. Christian Laettner would have been the one guy that stepped outside of his school. Christian Laettner would have had deals in Hollywood. Christian Laettner would have had deals with Disney down in Florida. Christian Laettner, because he was from Buffalo, would have been going Yahoo and had deals in Canada. Hey, I mean, that's what Christian Laettner would have done. Rex Chapman would have had the hillbilly crowd locked up. Damon Bailey would have had the combination hillbilly crowd, Teen Beat magazine, locked up. But Christian Laettner would have had them all locked up. Wouldn't have paid as much as the people up in Kentucky because those people are nuts. But Damon Bailey and Rex Chapman didn't have the nationwide cachet that Christian Laettner did. Remember the shot to beat Kentucky. Remember all that? You know, get it, fake, turn, shoot. That was like one of 4 that the dude hit in the NCAA tournament. Christian Laettner would have made more money than God. And it would have been a cross, but he still wouldn't have made more money than the boy King. I'll tell you that right now. I think I've seen where Rex Chapman has said that, and he ain't lying. That place was absolutely crazy. All right, the last guy, and this guy was probably more towards Laettner than he would have been regional like Herschel Walker or Damon Bailey, and it's Doug Flutie. Doug Flutie, when he threw that pass in '84 to Gerald Phelan, Doug Flutie was, and I'm quoting here, a matinee idol. Doug Flutie was Tom Cruise. He looked like Tom Cruise. He was as tall as Tom Cruise. Doug Flutie would have owned the Northeast. Doug Flutie, if you could have made money after he made the pass, and very underrated catch by Phelan, very underrated if you go back and watch it, hell of a catch. But Doug Flutie would have been the king of the Northeast. And let's be honest, Northeast money spends, people. I mean, you get up in the Northeast, you got Boston, he played at Boston College, you got New York right there, D.C.'s fairly close, you got a Hartford, he'd have been the king of the insurance agency. Are you crapping me? Doug Flutie would have been selling you home, auto, and life like it was his freaking job. Doug Flutie would have walked every single moment of every single day into your living room on some commercial selling you a freaking whole life policy that you just couldn't say no to. Telling you, Doug Flutie would have had that area absolutely, positively locked up. These guys right now, you know, you got the 2 twin girls out in Fresno that are whatever. You got a guy, you know, hey, meet me. What's the guy's name? Jordan Bohannon. Meet me at the county fair. Pull this, it plays Jingle Bells. Come on. I'm talking about dudes that had it going on. I'm talking about dudes that would have made a shit ton of money. Not a little bit of money. No. A ton of money. King of Canada isn't a bad move. Think about it. If Laettner went up there, wouldn't have been too bad.